Thank you so much for that welcome. As always, let me start with a disclaimer. And you know what? Don't hear what I'm not saying. Most of what I'm saying should be taken on a lighter note, and some of this is insider humor, which will only light up those who know the context. So please pardon me if you are wondering what's happening. This is a batch of 21 precious ones that came in all shapes and all sizes and knocked the life out of me. Our team at RCCA has been praying much for this batch, and if after so much of prayer, this is what this batch was, I can only imagine how they must have been without it. 27 is a number that is strongly and will forever be etched in my mind. Sometimes I get paranoid of this number. And you have to imagine this, and there is really no award that we are handing, but we are just announcing potential award winners. The award for the best outgoing student obviously goes to the one who frequently was an outgoer, which means he kept going out of class all the time, and you know who that is, don't you? And the award for the best outstanding student also goes for the same one who chose to stand out of the class most of the time than sit in the class in a literal sense. The award for the most creative student has been given to the one that came up with the most creative excuse to bunk the creative apologetics class. And she bags the gold for pulling this one up. What's wrong with you is what I ask her. She says, "Sir, my head is swinging like a pendulum." Where? On the inside. I think to myself, is that what happens to a head that is largely vacant? And this person also backs the gold for the one who shifted the most number of places. She sat in 24 places in a span of 12 days out of the available 20 seats. Sometimes up to 3 times in a day. It was evident from the very start that this batch was all about love. It indeed was unfortunate that we needed to release the apostle of love midway. Paul, wherever we are, we love you. Besides love, the other words that were very unique to this bunch was finish them off. Attack them. Assignment? However, over the last 12 days, there has been a visible change in this position, and this is nothing short of a miracle. This batch is indeed unique and talented. They had such a variety of talents ranging from impromptu music compositions to mono acting and to just simply acting. On a more serious note, the Harry Potter evangelism, the puppy love doggy life, which is a hacked one-liner, doesn't belong to the one who said it, the extempore 1 Peter 3:15 apologetics song, the vestigial organ defense, the Carnatic apologetic, which could be innovatively coined into a term called capologetics. The t-shirt design, which was outsourced from Madurai, the F equals MA and E equals MC squared besides others. Generally, we speak about the chemistry of every batch, but this batch we had to speak about the physics of this batch. And the physical element was very strong. Well, the thoroughbred British accent of Sister Miriam, peace be upon her, and her monopoly on doubts about Islam to poor Matt Reynolds made him leave that very same night. The quiet but intelligent Akash and Rakesh and the ultra-quiet Saravanan alias Savvy and the extremely well-mannered Sandesh who's kind enough to ask Aniyu, am I disturbing you? After 9 long days of prayer towards that much awaited enlightenment. The young at heart gentleman, with his brilliant mind and command of language and superfluous comments about everything about RZIM, from the watchman to the facility to the food and classes, the pastoral and perceptive Binu, the ear-moving skills of Ezra, the hairstyle of Akash were some of the highlights of this batch. The one thing that stood out about this batch from the first day was their desire to read books after books. To the point that all the books in the library had complaints of not even having been touched or looked at once. And their hunger for assignments was absolutely astounding. Nothing could cheer them up better than a stretch break. We have decided to install a school bell of the old kind after our pleasant experience with this batch to call them all back and reconvene the session. After all this, whenever they were tired of their non-academic and existential pursuits, they sat down to learn. They allowed us 50 hours of teaching over 12 days, around 40 taught hours and 10 hours of learning by doing. We had 9 lecturers, including 2 international speakers, besides our brilliant Indian lineup. The theme, Connect, taking the gospel to the world next door, was largely successful within the group, where they all the time tried hard connecting with each other and kept knocking on each other's doors, assuming them to be neighbors within the facility. But the desire was for you to go out and connect with people of different faith. Neil, I think it's high time we change the theme of the batch for the next year, because it is being highly misunderstood. Our only prayer is that all this investment will bear, all humor aside, much visible and true fruit in the days to come. And many will come to the saving knowledge of Jesus our Lord, and God would be pleased to give us and grant you the privilege of bringing multitudes to Him. Though I hate to say this, I am really, really glad that it is over. And I really am looking forward to get back home. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Most importantly, I'm so ever grateful to God for all that He did to all of us through this batch. Thank you.